Alright, fixed it. Sorry about that. Just wouldn't connect. I glitched it out. Oh well, it happens. It was the driver. Alright. Get some water on my brush here. Actually, I have to brush it out. There we go. Better. So, as I said, getting the dark color of these leaves here. Not sure I even color match the right color. Yeah, just about to test it. I gotta go around the front of the truck here. Needs a little bit more black. Just a little bit more black. Cool way to get a naturey green without a lot of steps. Just add black to yellow. Okay, Aletta came back. Yeah, oh shit, what's up? Yay! Glad you're back. You're probably gonna be the only one hanging out, to be honest, because not many are aware that I'm not gonna be on Twitch and Facebook at the same time anymore. You know, I'd be on Twitch too if it wasn't $30 a month. I would. I truly would. And now with my new trusty Zoom camera, I can show you what I'm working on. Up close action. Yep, that's definitely more the color I had before. So there's like these little weed things that basically the blue bonnets sit on or around, and so kind of placing those in right now. I kind of tossed in my little half-assed, or I shouldn't say half-assed, but half-finished blue bonnets. Because I just kind of wanted to get an idea of the color of them, and basically all I gotta do now is just add little white dots to them as they get closer. Because they have like little white dots in the center of every flower on them, so I gotta get that right. And I will be hitting this camera on accident a lot because I'm not used to how it's placed yet. Let's see. It's a very strange song. I'm working with a new music playlist too because it was time to move on. That's why. Because the last one was played too much and I feared that I may bring myself into insanity. So that's my fault. I keep shaking because I keep turning my chair into it, but I'm going to be more conscious of that, hopefully. See if I just lower my chair down a little bit. Okay, there we go. That's the color, kind of. I don't care if it varies a little, I guess. So you're working on work stuff. I guess I'm working on work stuff too. This is my work stuff. Can't wait to see the full ass blue bonnets. Yeah. There's gonna be a couple big ones up in the foreground for sure. And guessing they're gonna be like kind of over here in the corner somewhere. Yeah. So right now is a very everyone's hopping in a point in the painting that's very slow. Why, you ask? Well, it's because I have to kind of layer and layer and layer forever, basically, until the universe ends and everything turns into one big black hole and we all die. That's how long it's going to take for me to layer this. So get comfortable, because that's gonna be a while. Yes. And the other reason it's taking a while is because it's close to us now. It's in the foreground. So that said, you can see way more of the leaves than anyone would want to see. No, I don't know if anyone wouldn't want to see. I don't know that. I don't want to make assumptions about what other people might see, especially in this public online environment. I don't want to upset anybody. Even though now I don't even remember what I told them they might see. Totally forgot. That's how quick the brain moves when you're painting. Just one thing to another. Well, my brain. Oh my. Well, you know, this is Playing Jokum after all, where I just pretty much sit and talk like I'm a madman and pretend like I know where I'm going with this. But basically, I'm just painting. That's all I'm doing. Probably couldn't hurt to custom draw in some of these grass blades. Because after all, this is all gonna get highlighted on top of. So just working my way towards the bottom. On the educational videos online that tell you how to stream, they say that you should talk as if there's always an audience. So that's what I'm going to do. Even if there's absolutely no one watching, I'm going to pretend that there's at least 15 people watching. I don't know. Well, you know, because the thing I like about YouTube is that they keep your live stream videos as if they're videos. So if someone goes back and watches it later, then, you know, it's as if I made this video and I edited it. So I don't want to only talk if someone's here. Yes, I am deeply offended. How dare you assume what kind of grass leaves I do not want to see. That's what I said. Well, hey, see, you can't win in today's world, you know? That's what I mean. I was already politically incorrect. And who knows, you know? Maybe the grass leaves didn't want to be seen themselves. Or maybe they did want to be seen. Either way. I have to look at them a little bit. Or at least I have to see them. Could we, you know, just develop a style of YouTube video where I talk for hours and I don't make any sense? Like, never leading to anywhere. It'd be funny. Maybe I make people question if I'm insane. make them wonder a little, you know, if this is a character or if this is actually how I am. You're not going to Bob Ross it and talk to the painting like it's your lover? I mean, I don't know. I feel like no one could do that like Bob Ross. I mean, I could start talking really softly, but I feel like it would take a lot of effort. Because that's not how I talk normally, but I feel like I would like start talking softly for the first little bit, and then suddenly I would forget and just start talking normal again. And then it would be all done. All done. So, yeah, blue bonnets, huh? This is gonna take a while. She said she wanted a lot of blue bonnets. Ain't that right, Auntie Larry? Won't be long for her to discover that I'm on YouTube. And only YouTube. I didn't announce this. I'm gonna zoom out a little bit. I didn't announce this one too heavily tonight. I wanted to basically do a casual one, get back into the feeling of it, get my cameras working. Clearly we had a big camera error already that I had to work out, so yeah. So these extremely messy grass strokes are basically I don't care that they're not looking like perfect grass blades, because it's all about them filling in the gaps, little tiny spaces in between everything. And I have used some references up until this point, but I've kind of taken the training wheels off. With these flowers and leaves and stuff. See if I can do it from imagination. I've had to use references for the truck and the house and stuff. Because they look a very certain way, and that's part of the painting. This is a commission, by the way, for all 15 of you in the crowd. Exactly 15. And it's actually not... The three main pieces aren't done yet. But the base colors are there. So basically, more sunlight's going to be coming in. I'm working on base colors right now, essentially. Mid-tones. And once I get all those done, I'm going to come back in with the highlights, and like the left side of this house needs to be highlighted, the shed needs to be highlighted. There also needs to be more of a shadow here. I don't know if you can tell above me here in the zoomed out camera I shot, but I've got the beginnings of the sunlight peeking around the side of the house here. You just caught my yawn. I am very contagious to yawns. Extremely contagious. I catch them very easily. So, I'm going to try to start making these leaves a bit bigger now. Stop being shy. I might even have to get a bigger brush, I'm going to do that. Bigger brush time. Let's see. Get this one over here. I tried to get this camera down, well, the one I'm in, to kind of get the workshop area over here. I used to have a palette cam that would just face down on the colors I'm mixing, but I kind of did away with that because upon further Oh, I forgot to take the little cap thing off. But upon reviewing my videos, I realized that that camera shot is kind of boring, so I figured that I would just replace it with one that I can move around and zoom with. Oh, I didn't add enough water to my brush. I apologize if occasionally y'all get a super zoomed in shot of my face by leaning in front of that camera. Again, I usually spend the first couple months. Oh no, not yet. I usually spend the first couple months bumping into my new camera location. I remember I hit my head on the camera pretty much the whole time when I first started. Until I got this new setup. Because I remember I used to have to lean off to the side for my camera. And I'm so glad I changed that. Because it was very uncomfortable. Extremely uncomfortable. Going to skip this song. So now I'm working with a playlist that YouTube gives me that is copyright infringement free, apparently. So, hopefully. You never know these days. Alright, so now we're gonna take this brush and we're gonna gently caress. We just gently caress it right here. Right on the canvas. Just really soft. You almost just wanna soft and tickly. Oh, I couldn't talk like that the whole time. That's too much. I would end up laughing. I mean, Bob Ross had a bunch of women watching him, like he said, you know. So he had to please them. Man. For anyone watching, saw a Bob Ross documentary recently. That's what I'm talking about. And yeah, a lot of things you might not know about the guy. For sure. Definitely not gonna spoil it. Go watch it. It's kind of dark, to be honest. Kind of dark. What I do like about this YouTube playlist, though, is that it's pretty much all instrumental, because I remember having to sift through the lyrical ones. There's something about generic copyright-free music that has lyrics that's never good. The lyrics are just never good. Probably because they don't spend a lot of time on it. Ew. Alright. Guess I'll just keep going here. Give this one a little stem. And I don't want to go too close to the bottom of the page here because I have to kind of settle these in with some more grass. And I'll show you what I mean in a second here. I have to do the highlights first, what I just did. Basically, my goal is to finish burying the truck in the brush. That's the goal. So yeah. Probably gonna have to spend a lot of time tweaking. But luckily from the photo references that I studied with the field with blue bonnets. There's only like 3 type of weeds you can really notice. So, because sometimes in these really thick like ground shrubbery scenes, there can be like so many different plants that it's daunting, you know? It's daunting, but I think the more consistent type of plant there is, the more you can kind of get it in one dab with a paintbrush stroke. I've been trying to invent my own paintbrush strokes these days. I wonder if people patent paintbrush strokes. That's probably taking it too far. I doubt it. That's probably not patentable. Like, oh, I'm the only one that can. I own the leaf swirl. Anyone that does a leaf swirl has to pay me 1 penny. Nah, there's no way you could monetize that. Nope. Everyone's trying to monetize too much already. I wouldn't want that to be a reality. Actually. Yeah, no thanks. So, something weird about drawing the same plant over and over again, where it's very easy to like make them all look the same. So I'm trying to not do that. Even though they're the same, they can't be the same, because then they end up kind of taking kind of a plastic sort of look to them. Like some gonna be leaning to the right, and you think all the leaves on that plant are foreshortened and turned in different ways, and so I'm trying to think of that too. Trying to figure out how 15 or so leaves would be placed on a small shrubbery thing. A shrubbery thing. I'm clearly tired. I can't talk clearly right now. This is my initiation back into streaming more consistently again. Stream. I guess I didn't realize how chill I was before this started. It's taking effort to talk with volume. It's taking effort to talk with volume. Not so much like mentally is what I meant. But I do keep yawning. I can't stop yawning. I don't know why I felt the need to point when I yawned, but I did. Oh, so my head does go in front of the camera if I lean like that. Good to know. Let's see. So I'm out of the shot there. Oh, that's as far as I could lean, huh? I guess that's not bad. I don't really go much closer than that anyway. Okay. I have to add more yellow to create more green because I ran out. And going to mix it. I mixed already, but more yellow. Way too much blue there. These acrylics are already drying on me. It's because I put this paint out and then I had the camera error and I had to restart the stream. So that wasn't good for the paint. A little more blue there. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and just mix in the color I already had there too. A little bit of red. Bring it towards that sappy color, which is basically, I guess by adding red to green, it's like adding brown. It's like kind of, I guess, or making brown in the green. Maybe I'm not thinking of that right. I've caught approximately 90% of those yawns. Oh no, you mentioned it. I swear you mentioned it. It made me yawn. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, I'm super contagious. I catch yawns instantly. Alright, maybe a tad of black. Actually, no, maybe a little tad of white instead. A tad. An American unit of measurement. I don't feel like that's the color that I want, but I'm gonna try it. Because why not? It's not a big deal at this point. Probably should change my water, but I'm gonna keep rolling with it. 'Cause green, that's why. Vicious cycle! Yes. Indeed. Oh god. Vicious cycle indeed. Oh man. That was maybe an inside joke. I'm not gonna disclose that. So a little bit brighter than I wanted. So I'm gonna add a touch of black. A touch of black. Approximately 0.0035 milliliters of black. And it's still... You know what it is? There's not enough red in it. That's the problem. That's the issue. I think. Made a lot of mistakes mixing color. Every time I paint it, I make that mistake. And it helps. Alright. Oh, that's the color. It was red. So now I'm just going over all these. See if I can get a close up. Adding the highlights here. And if I was to get technical, extremely technical, I would say, no, it's not really extremely technical, but this isn't the actual, like, highlight, like, of the light. This is just, like, the lighter color of the plant. And then I'm going to add highlights. I think I'm going like 3 to 4 colors per object, and then I'm letting the wet paint blending take care of the rest of the diversity of the color, if that makes sense. For the massive crowd out there tonight, for all my roaring fans that are here and painting and having fun and enjoying this stream, because they just can't get enough of my painting streams because I'm just so famous. For all of you people out there. Yeah, exactly. For all you people out there, that's all. That's all I had to say. All right. Did I hit the camera again? I didn't. It's not shaking. I thought I felt my chair hit it. Okay. I think I have too big of a brush. I have to go smaller. Small brush time is what they say. That's what they used to say back in the day. Small brush time. When I went to art school, no, I don't know. I made that up completely. Me a fan roar. That's what they sound like, right? Normally? Fans. Roaring ones, of course. Not any other type. This is like some Mario level music right now. Even though it's very quiet. I mean, every song's different. I feel like I'm better off turning it down because there's always that occasional song that's just mixed way too loud. Blast it. Okay. I got this set of new paintbrushes over there, and they're very nice. They're very nice. Trying them out. It's got like a grip on it. It's like the size of a pencil. They're really small. But I like them. I really like them. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, it's so much better. I find that watered down paint is much easier to detail with. Not too watered down, of course, because then it's not going to cover anything. But a little watered down, kind of to ink consistency. Inky. And it's nice. You get the right amount of paint on it, and kind of feels like you're drawing with a brush pen for a second. And I feel like it tends to get a few more strokes out of it when it's an inky consistency on the brush, because I don't know, it like runs off of the brush a little better, I guess. You do have to remember to keep dipping it in the water though. Looks comfy. It is. It's actually very comfy to hold. I feel like I have more control when I hold it. Oops, I'm sorry. I gotta remember to move this detail camera over to where I'm working. And I'm just basically adding the ambient color, local colors. That was the first thing I heard it called, local color. Just a little indication of a stem there. Well, it wasn't little, was it? And a lot of the bottom of what I just painted over the last, like, however long, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, it's going to be painted over by more grass, detailed grass. And I also have to add some blue bonnets over here, as well as the highlight to the thin grass. I didn't get around to that. I I just did the base color for the thin grass, and then I moved on to these weed things. But that's what I like about acrylic. It dries very fast, so you can make these changes very quickly. I'm gonna zoom out just a little. I feel like I'm a little too zoomed in there. I forget that y'all can have it blown up on the screen a little bit bigger than I have it, and it's probably translating a little bit more than it is for my monitor over here. Speaking of that, I can actually make it a bigger for myself. There we go, that's better. I've learned so much on this one. This painting has been a class for color mixing, indeed. I feel like every painting I do, I'm just a little bit, just to build in my library of mistakes that I've made. Had to work around. Alright, move over to these right here. Are the last ones I didn't get to the highlights on. I'm just looking occasionally because I don't want to put my head in front of the camera. Not used to it yet. I feel like this camera setup's a bit better. What do you think? Getting the close up, and then I tried to get the zoomed out shot as big as possible without it being like obstructive to the rest of the layout. But you know. A lot of this music's really cheesy, but you know what? I think my music was cheesier because some of it I made in like 5 minutes. You know, it's just like the classic, like they give you like 15,000 songs to pick from, and I just picked like calm and chill. The calm and chill section. Relaxing vibes, bro. Because to be honest, the cheese level of like the happy upbeat ones is even worse than the cheese level of the calm and relaxing ones. And I'm not talking about good cheese here. I'm talking about bad cheese. Rotten, overly aged cheese. Oh, I seem to have a runaway bristle on my brush already. Has not been that long. So from my experience, to get grass to look good, it's just like it takes a while. It's like drawing hair. The camera angles, by the way, there's such a delay. What do you mean? Like what kind of delay? Like between the both of them? Or like between like what I'm saying in the audio and the camera angles? going to get an even thinner brush. And try to get some of these grass blades. Oh. Gotcha. Thanks for clarifying. Yeah, it's usually like, you mean like typing in the chat and then like how long it takes for it to like show up on the video itself? Because, yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. That's just kind of like how it is, I guess. So just literally tossing in like literal individual grass hairs. Kind of like, I gotta kind of get myself in this sort of like meditative state. Just kind of forget about how long it's gonna take when it comes to small details like this. It kind of becomes like this relaxing, doodling kind of sensation, and before I know it, I'll take a step back and I'll have like a big area done. I always try to like get in that zone. Doesn't always happen. I'd say sometimes that I can get a bit burnt out and need to like go take a break. The first symptom of it is I'll realize I'll start losing a little bit of focus. There's about a 30-second delay between hitting enter on the chat and you being able to see it. Yeah. That sounds about right. I might be able to tweak that, but what I noticed with that is that like each platform is different. Like with how long it takes for the comments to show up and versus, you know, or how long it takes for me to see them from when you press enter. And I do have a latency adjustment on my end, but it only goes so far in fixing the problem, unfortunately. The thing is too, is you're probably viewing me 15 seconds behind too, as well. So there's that. Okay. So now we're gonna toss in some blue bonnets. Blue is definitely getting a bit dry. I'm gonna add some more. 30 seconds is a while though. Should be more like 10, 15, but probably didn't need to add red to my palette there, to be honest. Just thinking here. I guess what I'm missing is it could get a bit darker when it comes to some of the shadows in the grass over here. There's not enough contrast going on. So I'm gonna have to add some of that in. Let me see if I can use a fan brush for that. So I'm going to make a bluer, darker green here. And see if I can get some proper shadows. Then I'll have to relayer it again with another color. Yeah, it's no big deal, just explaining. Appreciate it. Gotta get the word out. Gotta get people to YouTube. I wish I could have had hindsight in the sense that I could have known what every platform was like before I tried them. But now I know the difference between them and the different tools they have, and that's good for me. Drying off my brush here, got a little bit too much paint on it. Basically, I want these bristles to be a little bit separate. And I'm going to kind of just roll my brush in the paint. I realize like the way I'm dipping the brush in the paint is a thing that I've been having to keep in mind too. I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. Pan it a little bit. And do a little test. It's not dark enough. Not even close. So I'm going to grab a lot more black, a little bit of water. So one thing I'm definitely working on is I realize I'm a bit shy when it comes to like jumping like big leaps in color, and I'm trying to like find the happy medium to where like I would jump too much before and I've like trained that back, and now I like went too far. So I'm trying to find where that's kind of nice. I think I can work with that. Where I'm creating contrast, because that's my problem, is sometimes I'm not bringing enough contrast out here. And there's been a lot of experimenting in this painting, in the sense that I'm told you have to repaint some of this to finish the effect, and that's fine with me. I don't mind taking those extra steps now, so that when I come across this later, it will, I'll hopefully catch it, not make the same mistake. And personally, if I was critiquing myself right now, I would say that a lot of these colors are still a bit too close. And that's okay with me. Kind of taking a couple steps back right now in this darker color to create the illusion that there's a bit more depth in this grass, because it needs it. I didn't go dark enough in the initial base color for the grass is my error here. Like, this is probably should have been color I started with. Yeah, already on the zoom out, it's looking more, making more sense to my eyes. Hopefully with this beautiful weather, we'll be doing some more art shows soon, selling some of the paintings. So I don't need to be layering over there. I'm trying to limit the amount that I play with placing something on the canvas. There's too much. Sometimes it's easy to kind of put down brush strokes without purpose, if that makes sense. So I'm really trying to focus on like the grass strokes I already made now, because I admittedly did a couple lazy brush strokes. And I think it's because I'm talking, so I'm a bit more distracted than when I'm quiet and working with myself. But that's fine. It's been a month since I've streamed, so I'll get my torch back, for lack of a better word. Zoom out a little here. Chill like that. Yeah, I guess that wasn't a good spot to put that. I feel like the color I made isn't, kind of got watered down. No, there it is. Okay, I found a little bit more. What happens sometimes, too much water gets on the color and it sort of like separates, and through separating it becomes a little bit more transparent, and because it becomes a little bit more transparent, it then looks lighter. And I find the way to keep up with it is to just keep mixing it on your palette. It's just from it sitting there and settling, kind of like naturally separating So I was set on the mission of getting the truck in place, so I didn't really get much initial layering of grass done over on this side of the canvas. I can feel that my brush needs more water right now. And it's this kind of happy medium between the paint being watered down and there not being too much paint on the brush, because what happens is then the bristles stick together, and I'm trying to have the bristles ever so slightly separated on the brush so that it actually draws individual blades of grass. That's why I'm actually dipping the brush in a certain way as well to make that happen. I'm kind of rolling the tip of the brush like this. If this was the palette in a profile view, I'm kind of rolling the brush like that when I dip it. So that way I'm not kind of like pushing the tips of the bristles together, if that makes sense. Kind of keeps them a little bit more separated. And I want the detail in these strokes to be kind of ambiguous. I don't really want it to be like super defined blades of grass yet. If anything, kind of be fun to experiment with trying to put different colors of paint on different spots on my brush, so I can save time here. It's getting there, starting to look a little fluffy. I made a lot of good progress on this painting today, but most of it was off film. Only just started streaming later this night. Just didn't get around to it earlier, setting things up. Pushing myself to even go a little bit darker with this green. This fan brush does not hold a lot of paint on it, let me tell you. Until I say that, just put a big glob, huh? The brush was like, oh yeah? I'm not holding a lot of paint? I'll show you. being careful not to cover too much of this, like these areas where the ground kind of shows through the grass. I already feel much better knowing that after the stream I don't have to check on 2 other platforms, and I can just do everything in one spot. Yes. The best. Oh man. Let's see, get some more over here before it dries. Got a little bit left. Gotta remember to keep the grass smaller, not go too big as I go closer to the house. I don't really care about what I've painted over here already. It was just an experiment earlier for color. So a lot of this has been experimenting with finding unique brush strokes that give me different effects here. It's looking good to even go back into these highlights I did. They weren't quite the right color. All right. Get some of these. Don't want to go too dark with those. It sounds like some like Flecktones tune. That's fine. Like these are dabs. Indication of some darker leaves in there. Yeah. I just didn't go dark enough. Oh, I hit my camera again. This brush is literally in the sweet spot right now. As I say that, it leaves the sweet spot. So I had to mix more paint. Oh well. I spoke too soon. Oh, that was an aggressive piece of grass. Really wanted to grow. I don't know what's gonna happen over here, but I will fill it in a little bit. Because it's bothering me that it's not filled in. Simply. Helps my brain to see it better. Alright. Super fluffy dark grass. That needs highlights very badly. and blue bonnets. And white flowers. But I didn't get to those yet. Was it aggressive? You thought of it though. I mean, I had to squint my eyes at the chat to see that for a second, because it looked like you smelled it right, and then I was like, oh nope. Oh man, it's one of the daddiest jokes ever. But you know, at least you didn't use the word chief or boss, because that's going super dad. If you end something with boss or chief, or refer to someone as that. On that note, I am going to refill my drink. I'll be right back. So thank you for all the people that are hanging out and will continue to. The stream will not be going much longer. It's going to be a shorter one tonight, but I will come back and we will do more panning. I do want to get some of the highlights on the screen. But I will be right back, getting a drink. Alright, I am back with my drink. Put Hawaiian shirt away, yeah. Yeah, I would never call you that, Chief. Yeah. Put Hawaiian shirt away. I mean, you're right. Now let's just go on a boat, give me a cigar, and a grill, and I'll make some burgers. And Charisse. I am now attempting to brighten this yellow, or this green, rather. I haven't been using my glass palette lately because my razor blade broke. So I haven't been able to clean it, so I gotta go buy excuse me, myself a new razor blade. So I haven't gotten around to that yet. Gonna toss in a little bit of red. So I've been using this like watercolor paper that is kind of bad that I'm never gonna use, which is the farthest thing from ideal, to be honest. Farthest thing from ideal. Farthest. See how this looks. It's too bright, I think. But like I said, I gotta take more risks, right? See what it looks like. Go on one over here. Okay, not bad. Excuse me. It's a very carbonated drink. Yeah, you know what? I'm going with it. Just not gonna overdo the highlights. The other thing I have to do is toss in blue bonnets, but I'll get to that eventually. Now what I'm hoping will happen is when I come back with an even lighter, more sunlit yellow-green, it will not look like absolute shit. So that's what we gotta hope for. Try not to spin my wheels here and make sure that I'm not getting too harsh of edges. Fading the bottom. Actually, I think I need to put more water on this color. It's a trusty spray bottle that I just threw in all the paint for no reason. And I would consider this a zoom in moment. Get a little bit better of idea of what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I think I gotta keep the zoom in camera capabilities. It's key, bro. It's key. Oh yeah, we got ourselves an inky consistency. And we're gonna keep going Something I learned about acrylics very recently is they act a little bit like watercolor, especially when adding water to them. In the sense that lighter colors dry a little bit darker than when you put them on. So I think that's the other reason why a lot I am making very subtle transitions, because what ends up happening is I get scared, but then it actually ends up drying a little bit darker and being okay after all. So maybe that's a testament to just getting the paint on there, not thinking about it too much. Because comparatively, this to that white up on the sun right there, it's still very, very dark. Relative. Tiny ass hair on this brush. I gotta like pull it off, because it's like just not doing anything for me. Think I might have gotten it? I don't know. Whatever, I'll keep going. Now that I have this color, I'm gonna alter it a little bit. By giving it a little red over here. I have a couple different greens to pick from, because it's another thing that I'm trying to always be conscious of as I paint, is to like kind of be swapping between two color variants at all times. So, well, you know, in realistic painting, so that I'm not making things too consistent. The music hasn't actually been that bad, to be honest. Bearable. Much more bearable than the music I was using. But that's probably biased, because I had to listen to the same 50 songs for, I don't know, a whole lot of hours. Yes. It's already been an hour and 20 minutes. Can you believe it? Time flies when you're painting. No, that's not an actual saying. I just made that up. That's not always the case, actually. So, another little trick that I like to do is, if something comes out too bright or too dark on the canvas, you can quickly just press your finger on it and it'll kind of just soften it ever so slightly, just enough. Nice and soft, just like Bob Ross would. Gentle and soft. Oh man. You know, until that documentary, I didn't realize he died so early on in my life. I thought he lived much longer than he did. What was it, 1995? We were watching it the other day. 1995. I think it was. I don't think I reddened. That's very hard to say. Reddened. I don't even know that's a word. Reddened. I reddened the apple. Is that a word? Not sure it is. Okay, I need to pick a different green to highlight the grass, because then it's not going to make sense if I don't do that. The stock chill music right now is very similar to Skyrim music. Reddened is a word. Okay. So I'm not crazy. I think I finally got that little annoying hair. Yeah, 95. Gotcha. How old was I in 95? 3 years old? I was 3 years old. When Bob Ross died, I was 3. That's literally when I started drawing. 3 years old. That was when I got my first sketchbook. That's when it all began. I didn't say you weren't crazy. Well, you may be right there. You may be right there. Leaving some room to call me crazy. Because I definitely feel a bit crazy. Could mean I am crazy. But I feel like other people are supposed to call you crazy, right? Can't know. Just like you can't be a self-proclaimed genius. Maybe you can. This green is very satisfying because it's actually the right highlight color, and I feel like that it's looking more poppy. In the best of ways, of course. Haha. Meep. How's your work stuff going? Still chipping away at it, or did you finish? This is some like classic elevator shit right now. In the same way it takes the chat for you to get into the chat like 30 seconds, it probably takes like 30 seconds after what I say to get to you, because it seems that way. I'm just glad the cameras aren't lagging, because that's what I thought you meant at first. So as these plants get closer and closer, I'm going to have to be a bit more concerned about them looking more 3D and less flat. So, trying to keep my eyes on that here. Yeah. I think I made the right choice throwing in that extra dark green there. It's a nice green. Thanks. Also, I like this zoom view of your hand. Heck yeah. Noted. I definitely am going to make this zoom camera a staple. Because I got it on this bendy arm here behind me. And I can kind of put it anywhere on the painting. I was experimenting with it earlier. And I also, when I do like sketches and pen and inks, I can do the same. Just finished over 300 questions. I had to fill out about one kid. One kid? Don't you have like 22? Does that mean you have to do 300 for each one? 300. What's 300 times 22? Oh no. That is a lot of questions. Holy shit. I hope you don't have to do that amount for every kid. Because that's just not right. That should be illegal. It's cool to see what you're actually doing up close. Hell yeah. I'm so glad that's actually adding an element of enjoyment because I remember that's what was missing before. I think I could even get a little bit more. I mean, I could get super close with it. I just have to remember to move it. Fortunately, it was just for this one particular kid. Oh, good. Jeez. That would be crazy. Let's try that much up close. Sometimes I feel like I don't know how to talk on stream. It's like my brain goes 15% more dumb. But it's also because you're on my stream right now. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm looking on my monitor right now. Yep. You can really see what I'm doing now. So as you can see, I've reached the one leaf at a time stage in the painting. I kind of find this small detail part relaxing. Been trying to learn the fine art of how much detail you put in versus how much detail you leave out, and this is definitely one of those stages and moments in the painting in which I am thinking about that. So I'm thinking this is the color of the plants behind the truck where it's going to be blocking sunlight, and the highlight that the grass is going to get over in these areas is going to be much brighter. Like this line here coming from the house that line of sunlight's going to carry out all the way over to here. And yeah, I think the house of the shadow is the shadow of the house is probably going to end somewhere over here, ish, somewhere like right here. Gotta keep water on these little detail brushes. That's the thing with them. They get messed up real easily. Let's see, move the zoom right there. So on some of them, if the paint gets a little too thick, I'm basically I just kind of just smudge out the bottoms of them, and kind of I don't know. I just like the effect it gives them. It kind of just smudges them out into the background a little bit. And so basically, it's probably a bit harder to see on the camera, but wherever I'm putting one of these highlights is where I put one of those darker leaves from the previous green I was using a little while ago. And as you can see, the effect stands true where the darker colors go lighter and the lighter colors go darker, because I'm even having a hard time seeing some of where I put them. Where I put some of them. Might have to switch to another brush here, because this runaway bristle on this one is getting to be a nuisance. Just gotta keep the water on the brush, I guess. Most of what's left in this painting is basically a lot of this tiny stuff. Like there's a cow pen thing, whatever you want to call it. Horse pen, cow pen, pig pen. Right behind this house. It's like in this field, so I gotta put that. It's actually a barrel that sits right next to the shed. That's not there yet. Some odds and ends are about. Some bushes. There's white flowers that are all over here. So there's some work to do. There's some work to do, for sure. But the worst is over with the house, truck, and shed, because I would say I had the hardest time with this truck and the rust colors. Finding those rust colors was difficult. Now that I'm squinting my eyes here and looking a little bit closer, I noticed some that I've missed. I don't want to be too crazy with the highlight. Very easy to get carried away. So as you can see, as I bring the highlight out to the grass up here, it immediately kind of disappears, because it's not bright enough to look bright over there. But it looks super bright over here. And I realized I've forgotten to move the camera when I go out of shot there. I'll get better at that. I'm still working, not used to working with a zoom camera. Still got a thing things to highlight right here. So let's see. Because it's like a bendy arm camera mount, I have to like bend it slightly more than where I'm going with it, so it's got a little bit of memory to it. Kind of whips back to where you had it. Well, it doesn't seem like the YouTube algorithm is completely dead. Throughout the stream I saw a couple people hop in, so it's good to know. The hashtags are working. Thanks YouTube for instilling some hope, throwing me in front of a couple other pairs of eyes, however that happened. I did do a couple posts out on my Reddit and my Twitter, which, by the way, are now, for anyone that watches this, I'm not on Facebook anymore. I'm not going to be using it anymore. Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, and Instagram. That's it. And YouTube now has pretty much their own built-in TikTok called YouTube Shorts. And I personally like it more than TikTok, so just going to be using that for my TikTok version. And I like that because it's all in one place. So I got my TikToks, my long form videos, my live streams, all on one platform. And for my quick update posts and stuff like that, I'll be on Twitter and YouTube, because they let you do posts on YouTube too. Instagram is the closest I'll get to Facebook. I know that Facebook owns Instagram, so I know I'm technically still using Facebook, but I've always said I liked Instagram more than Facebook anyway. Alright. Bringing you over here. Almost about done highlighting every single one that I've added to the degree in which I think is necessary. And starting to feel happy about how this truck sits in the grass. Earlier today I was not happy about it. I was actually very upset about how it sat in the grass. So angry and upset, in fact, that I had to work on it all day. No, I wasn't angry and upset. But it still wasn't right. Missed a few little runaway ones over here, thinking they're not gonna get highlighted. Silly little grass weed things, trying to hide from my highlights. Well, I showed them, let me tell you. Won't be hiding from my highlights next time, will ya? They're aggressive grass. aggressive grass. Well, that's a sign my paintbrush is dry, isn't it? When no paint comes off of it. And I am forgetting to keep you in the shot again. There we go. There's a lot of areas where I'm going to have to do these little individual blades of grass. Because, to be honest, I'm not always a big fan of the fan brush. Don't they know better than to hide? Oh yeah, I thought they knew better than to hide. They should know better than to hide. Plus, why wouldn't they want highlights anyway, right? Because without highlights, they're not getting light, right? Highlight. And therefore, no photosynthesis for you, stubborn weed plant. Not my fault you're gonna die. Don't want your highlight, you don't get your photosynthesis. I mean, I guess, you know, not much you can do about that. Kind of they kind of need the highlight. So, you know, I don't want to starve all these little grass blades of their photosynthesis. Wouldn't be good. I feel like it's starting to look more like grass, guys. I feel like it really is. I do. You don't have to feel like it's grass. I mean, you could be anything to you. If you told me that it's starting to look like a bunch of little elephants growing out of the ground, then there's nothing I can do to tell you that you're wrong. It's how you perceive it, and that's fine. It's not my job to tell you how to perceive things. If grass looks like elephants to you, that's fine. But to me, it's starting to look like grass. So, yeah. I'm pretty happy with it. And I think right now what I would say and call what I'm doing is playing. And what I mean by that is there's not much else to add at this stage of this color, of this point. Basically what I have to do now is oh look at that, I missed one right here, the last one. Basically I have to now add blue bonnets around inside of all these little highlights I did. And then once I add the blue bonnets, then I rinse and repeat basically what I just did with the grass, and that will therefore layer those blue bonnets behind that layer of grass, and then I do it again, and then I probably do it one more time with a final layer, is what I'm guessing. That's how long it'll take me to get to this. This is like gonna be the closest to us here. Somewhere around here is the closest. Exactly, can't hide from that. Yep, exactly. Green ground noodles, yes. Green ground noodles. Perfect. What was it? Oh yeah. That was what we called it the other day, driving around. I remember laughing about that. ground noodles. Oh no, those are earthworms. Calling ground noodles. But these are green ground noodles, you're right. Could be called floor salad. You know, like instead of mowing the grass, you gotta go mow your floor salad. Or ground salad. Ground is a better word, I guess. Earth salad. Rugweed. Well, rugweed sounds like an actual plant. It's not crazy enough. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna call it there for this stream. And did not even expect to make it to about 2 hours. Pretty happy about that. Pretty happy about the camera setup. Pretty happy about streaming again. Pretty happy about being on just YouTube. See how I plugged that in there? Because I'm trying to tell everyone that's watching to follow me on YouTube. That'd be great. Anyway, moving on. I had a great time. Thank you so much. I literally gasped. I love ground salad. Ground salad's the best! Oh, man. I mean, who doesn't love ground salad? You know? Well, on that note, on the note of ground salad, and that is a very, very good note to leave it on. And for all you people out there that love ground salad too, I hope you have a good night. And I hope you have a good night as well, Kirsten. Thank you so much for hanging out. You made this so much more fun and enjoyable. And I love you all so much. I hope you have a great night. And I will see you on the next stream.